Welcome to Topic A, everyone. I'm your host, Gary Perna. This week on Topic A, I'm joined by Hazleton City Councilman Robert Gavio. We're going to talk about what he thinks the city is doing right and wrong, and where he sees council going over his next 4 years in office. Plus, we're going to ask him some questions about the mayor, how council's behaving, and what he thinks Hazleton needs to do to move forward. This week on Topic A, only on WYLN. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Beer Garage, 202 East Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. More than just beer. Coffee, all sizes, only $1. Get your lottery tickets here too. Stop in today, The Beer Garage in Hazleton.
If you're not in danger and you see a crime, text 274-637, 274-637, 274-637. Send your tip, take them off the street. Text 274-637. Send your tip, take them off the street. No one will know your identity.
Now, helping to solve or prevent the crime is just a text away. Text my tips to the word crimes and let the law help you.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Welcome back, everyone, to Topic A, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Hazleton City Councilman Bob Gavio, who just came on council in January, and thanks for awarding me your first sit-down interview.
Well, thank you for having me.
I reached out to you, last week, and I said, come on, let's talk about council. Let's talk about the city. There's a lot going on. Sometimes, you and I have had this conversation outside of meetings. I said, Hazleton just has this bad rap about it. No matter which way you look at it, up, down, slice it 3 different ways. People just don't like Hazleton like the way they used to. Right. But slowly, I think we're starting to get to that pivot point where we're starting to fall back. But a lot of that has to do with the way, the way we show Hazleton off, and the way, some of our elected officials come off. And, some of the council meetings tend to be a little heated. There seems to be a lot of back and forth going on right now. With you only being on since January, you're only 4 or 5 meetings into this. What is your take for it that, looking at the city, looking at the mayor and council, what are you seeing? And, are you okay with it? Are you disappointed? How does Bob Gavio feel about it?
Well, I think what the start of it is, I think the relationship between the previous mayor and council was toxic. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a level of mistrust there, a level of mistrust. Mm-hmm. But I really believe, I'm optimistic that if we all take a deep breath, maybe we could show the federal and state government how a partnership between the branches of government could push the city ahead. I think we all, both myself, both the mayor, both our council president Jack, and the other ones have a mutual respect for each other. Now, we're obviously not going to agree. I mean, you can see by my votes, but sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And I see us working, working toward that, and I hope we do. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, I've been with the water company on numerous negotiations, more than I want to be at, and I'm on the grievance committee for months. If you would come in the back room where you might call security. But what we do is, I mean, it's a battle behind closed doors. The end result is we come out, we shake hands, and it's a mutual agreement which is fair to the ratepayers as well as the workers.
Right.
So, you know, I'd like to see that, you know, that kind of partnership between us all. And, you know, I think it's possible. I really do. You know, like I said, we sit down, take a deep breath, and
work
it out for the best of the city.
Now, council, you know, it vowed going forward, you know, once Mayor Cassatt was elected, that, you know, we're going to work with the mayor and give him the tools to do the job. But it seems like for the last 3 or 4 meetings, whether it was the increase in the EIT that came up, whether it be questions over transfer of money, you know, is the info, the flow of information just kind of isn't there. And not to say it's the same thing as the, you know, Newsy administration to council, but some people are getting that feeling that there's still no communication between the administration and the governing body of city council.
Right, and I could totally understand that, the way, you know, the way things are going on. But like I said, you know, we have to work together here, you know, and even as far as the budget deal. I mean, the budget was all done before I came on. Mayor Newsy budget was there, council's budget was there. So, in my opinion, whoever wins mayor was elected by the people.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, a lot of people at the meetings, which is okay, will disagree and say you're giving the mayor everything, but I would do the same, whether it would have been whether it been Jeff, whether it been Jackie, or whether it been Scott Cahalan.
Right.
You know, they won, and, you know, I want to give them the tools to succeed. That's not to say we're, believe me, in the next 4 years, I'm sure me and Jeff are going to have disagreements. But it's almost good. But we agree to disagree and come with a consensus that we move the city ahead. I mean, we have a lot of major problems. I ran on crime being the major one.
Right.
I still think we have a crime problem. We obviously have money problems. I mean, you can see it there. I mean, even in the budget. And when it came out, you know, I do go see them. I stopped to see, you know, when I got on, I talked to Jack, and I talked to the mayor-to-be, and both of them weren't right in tune with the budgets that were there.
Right.
So I said to Jeff, I said, well, you know, give me some of your input. What would you like? I'm here to work with you. Well, in came the, you know, the EIT tax.
Right, property increase,
and the property increase was $9 on 100,000, the EIT, 25 cents on 100. And I thought that was reasonable. You know, I thought it was fair to both the seniors, because they didn't take a big hit.
Right.
And people who work like myself were able to pay more because of raises. It was mindful of people who earn less. And with that came 5 policemen, which I think we direly need.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I had no clue the legality of it. I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
So when I actually proposed those as an amendment to the council's budget.
Right.
And, you know, I was all in favor. And I think, you know, what I don't want to see happen, which, I mean, we need money. It is what it is. You know, if you go little by little, with, you know, not a big tag, you know, that you could handle, that you could budget.
Right.
I would rather see that than like something like the last tax increase where the mayor proposes an 89% increase.
Right.
And we agreed at 43. That, I think, is hard for a senior, for anybody to take. So I think if you do it incrementally, and then, you know, you bolster your police force. I mean, we're looking at blight, we're looking at abandoned homes. We're looking, I mean, we're like everything. Then money starts coming in.
Right.
You know, these are 2 pretty busy months for the job I do, but I'm trying to, you know, keep it. I talked to I went and saw all the department heads.
Right.
We are at a minimum amount of people.
Yeah.
We can't cut no more. We really can't, without severely affecting the services we provide to the city. We can't cut no more. So in the meantime, we're obviously looking for grants. I mean, collaboratively, we're all looking together for grants, ways to get more money. But to me, this tax increase would have been a boost there to get 5 policemen, and to me, it was a good start. You know, I found out before the meeting that it was illegal. I'm no lawyer. You know, it had to be coupled with the EIT tax as well, because, you know, it wasn't enough to do that. So I guess we start again, looking for ways to earn money.
All right, we're going to take a break right there, but when we come back, we're going to talk about some more problems with the department heads that we saw recently at city council meetings, and Councilman Gavio's take on some housing projects coming to our area and what the city really needs to do to get a boost, to get back on into that #1 area where people cannot stop talking about the good here in Hazleton. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Topic A.
Combined Insurance makes it easy to protect you and your loved ones by paying cash directly to you when you need it most. Whether you're looking for accident and sickness, disability, or life coverage, Combined Insurance has a policy to meet your needs and fit your budget. Call John Ravello, 570-499-0504 for an appointment to help determine the best coverage for you. That's John Ravello, 570-499-0504.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Get your green on and join us for the Wilkes-Barre St. Patrick's Day Parade, Sunday, March 13th, live on WYLN TV 35. Thousands of spectators, vintage vehicles, local talent, floats, marching bands, and more. The Wilkes-Barre St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 13th, live on WYLN TV 35. We're your local network.
Hello, I'm Paul Esposito Jr. from Victoria's Candies. My family has been serving the Hazleton and surrounding area since 1934. Our secret family recipes and time-tested techniques of making fine candy have made Victoria's Candies your choice for nearly 4 generations. We specialize in Easter baskets and hollow-filled eggs, and we make our own chocolate molds, like the Easter Bunny, the Last Supper, the Cross, an iPod, a cell phone, or a guitar, just to name a few. Shop where the Easter Bunny shops, Victoria's Candies.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicap accessible, with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget, restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314. We're expanding. WYLN News has a immediate opening for a news reporter and anchor, a multimedia journalist. This is an evening position, a college degree or comparable work experience required. Please send resumes and demo reels to Ann Gamley, News Director, 1057 East 10th Street, Hazleton, Pennsylvania, 18201, or by email news@wylntv.com.
Welcome back to Topic, everyone. I'm Gary Perna, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Councilman of Hazleton City, Bob Gavio. And Councilman, before we were talking kind of about council, but I want to move on now. Mayor Cassatt said he put out a directive that says, you know, if we get right-to-know requests, you know, they have to kind of come at the end of the day when the person's work is done. Now, with that being said, that kind of all came part as some council members were requesting some information, and, you know, whether it was tying up their day or not, none of us can really say because we're not the employees. Right. However, you know, council members can walk into City Hall and talk to department heads and workers as pretty much anyone, you know, else can. You know, is it fair that there's this slander going on out there between right-to-know requests and what council can get and can't get and could come in and get themselves? You know, is there a big issue lying with that, or is this just kind of like a big smokescreen?
Oh, listen, we're understaffed, you know, everywhere, even in City Hall. So do I think that council has the right to know? Sure we do. I think we have the right to ask questions? Sure we do. But, I mean, when people are doing their jobs, I don't think, you know, we should be able to inundate them with, you know, things just to do for me. You know, in my case, you know, we were just previously talking about transfer of money. When I heard about it, I stopped in, I talked to Tom, who believe me, he's a wizard at numbers, does his job, and brutally honest with you. You know, and I asked him, and it's really nothing at all. What we did do, basically, is instead of taking tax anticipation, a TAN loan, we borrowed from ourselves, from the thing, nothing illegal. We will pay it back within the time frame and save the taxpayers $30,000. So when you hear that, I can't see no reason why council nor the public we'll turn our head on $30,000 savings.
Yeah.
You know, the question was answered to me within 3 minutes. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that, you know, sure, we deserve the right to know everything.
Right.
But there's a point, I think, where, you know, we have to say, well, wait a second. You know, there's so much information if we want. And, you know, and we got to be mindful of, you know, the workers and stuff like that.
Now, you know, you are, when you ran, and even going into the November election, I think I sat on this set in October before the election, and I said Bobby Gavio is going to be the dark horse running here, because we knew, you know, just looking at and talking to people, that, you know, that seat was yours, and the race came between the second seat. When you got on and the council was, and really, I mean, this was the first time I can ever remember seeing 5 Democrats on a council that have a Republican mayor. And still on council, you're kind of the odd man out. Not saying that's a bad or a good thing, but, you know, you were always, from every council meeting, you said, I'm voting my conscience, that's it, period, end the sentence. And that's something you stand by today, you know, 3-4 months into this.
It's what I do. I mean, I am a staunch blue-collar Democrat, and we are all Democrats. I went on there, I vote my conscience. I vote what I feel is best for the people I represent, regardless of what side it is, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. But that's exactly what I do. I vote my conscience, and, you know, and if I'm wrong, and, you know, I've been chastised by, I mean, you see even that, you know, people say to me, you know, like, we'll have someone say, well, you're giving the mayor too much, or you're spending taxes, and I don't really think the case. It's what my gut tells me, that I want the mayor as well as us to succeed, regardless of who it is. I mean, we really do have major problems facing the city.
And one of them I want to talk about, you know, you ran on the platform of crime, and you know, you've said we definitely need to do something with crime. And, you know, one of the things is you were all for adding, you know, police to the force right now. So looking at it right now, that may be something possibility coming up in the next budget cycle when we start talking about that September, October with it. But I have to ask your opinion on the new chief, you know, in the city, and what you think of him and the initiatives he's taking with the police department, bringing it into the 21st century, you know, with texting and getting all this information out there to the public. You know, what do you think of Chief Speziale and the job they're doing with the police department?
I fully support him. He comes in, he brings technology into our police department. He has the respect of his department. He's come from an area similar to ours, where we have gang problems, drug problems. He's taken a proactive approach to it, and I really believe if we give him the tools, he'll make a difference. I really believe that. I think he's an asset to the city. You know, I really think if we work along with him, I think you'll see a needed change that I think we need. I mean, you could, you know, just in the past few years, you can see the city go. I mean, people are moving out of the city.
Right.
You know, the benefactors are the outlying areas. People I work with, if you ask them why they moved, it's because my neighborhood's falling apart. It's unsafe. You know, I think if the community sees that we're starting, you know, at least if we're on the upswing to attack this crime issue.
Right.
I think, I mean, just look at the downtown. I mean, we got great people who, community-minded people that put me to shame before I was on council, like Mary Malone, Krista Snyder. I mean, even look at the downtown now. They gave us the Main Street status, which, you know, puts us at a priority for things. And you could see the downtown, you know, getting a facelift. But they did a study. The Alliance did a study. And it was, I think it was an online study with 500, they asked 500 people, and 70% of the people had a negative view. In other words, thought it was unsafe. Now, if you were a business wanting to relocate to Hazel, which we want for a tax base, would you not say 70% of my prospective customers think it's unsafe? I'd look for another area.
Yeah, or you'd be looking at something to say, hey, we need to get together and fix this.
Exactly, where if they see, I think the presence of police stop crime, where if they see a visible police, and believe me, our police, their workload has quadrupled.
Right.
It really has. And it's at the point where, you know, we're at, you know, we're at a reactive. We're reactive. We get calls, we go, not proactive. And I think the new chief and more policemen would bring us into that and, you know, make our neighborhoods safe. Because they're not. I mean, the people I've seen coming from, I mean, I'd like to see people coming in shopping like they did years ago. You know, in the past few years, you know who's coming in? people aren't coming in because we have wholesale illegal drug prices. I mean, it's a shame, but it's true. And me, I don't want to badmouth the city, but I believe the only way we're going to solve a problem is we confront it.
Right.
We have one, deal with it. We have to try and do what we could, at least if we see it on the upswing.
Right.
I think that even whether there's a tax raise, I mean, we're all looking for money. We really are. I mean, everybody's scuffling, whether it be, Jack's saying about getting money from the water company. I mean, we have grants going on. The police chief, I went to a Crime Watch meeting, and he gave it, and he's actively pursuing 5 grants for us.
Right.
So, I mean, but till that comes in,
Right.
I thought, like, an incremental little tax increase would have gave us the boost till this comes in to put us in the right direction.
Okay. We're going to stop you right there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on Topic A. Stay with us.
Boy, I hope I win tonight.
Why?
It's tax time, and I have to get my taxes done.
Well, why don't you try Honest Abe's tax service? The most you'll pay is $75 to $125. They say don't stress, pay less.
What's that name again?
Honest Abe's Business and Tax Service. 310 South Church Street, Hazleton, 570-861-8297.
WYLN TV 35 has strong ties to the community, as evident in its commitment to important causes like the American Cancer Society and Helping Hand Society telethons. WYLN's commitment to northeastern Pennsylvania continues with a broadcast of Hazleton's Funfest Parade and both the Christmas and St. Patrick's Day parades in Wilkes-Barre. In the summer, we broadcast the Weatherly and Giants of Spare Hill Flag, and throughout the year, we provide important community services through the broadcast of town meetings, school board meetings, election night coverage, and other events. WYLN, we're your local network.
If you haven't found the perfect fishing getaway, you haven't been to Captain's Cove. Located on Henderson Harbor in upstate New York, Captain's Cove offers a variety of accommodations to please just about anyone. The motel, also located on the harbor, offers a magnificent view. Enjoy free morning coffee, air-conditioned rooms, cable TV, and HBO. The cottage can accommodate up to 8 people with 3 bedrooms, a complete kitchen, washer, dryer, 2 full baths, air conditioning, an outside grill, and picnic table. Call us today for rates and information at 1-800-824-FISH.
Watch Off the Beaten Path on WYLN TV 35 and discover the Pennsylvania you never knew existed.
Welcome back to Topic A, everyone. And in the couple of minutes that we have left here, Bobby, I wanted to ask you, your thoughts on the department heads. Now, Mayor Cassatt says he doesn't have to put the department heads on the agenda. He doesn't feel that it's necessary. Council members are saying, yes, you have to. Mayors have done this. They have to be, yeah, you can appoint them, but they need to be confirmed by council. Your thoughts on that? Do you think they need to go before them to be confirmed by council members, to work in their jobs?
Well, the Wilkes-Barre paper called me and asked me a similar question, and my point is this: I don't know by third-class city code what we have to do. I don't know. I mean, there's the word of consent or approval or what was done or what. I really don't know. I think it's up to the legal minds. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm prepared to do what I have to do.
Right.
But what I could say is that I think they're very highly competent people. And I think when you win a mayor, whether it would have been Jeff, Jack, Scott, I think even the voters give you the right to pick who the people you could work daily and trust and best, barring something that I know on the side.
Right.
I think they're highly competent people. They work them on a daily basis. And I've talked to them all. I've met with them all. I've asked them about their departments. And I think they're very highly competent people. So my point is, do you have to, don't you have to, I don't know. My view is, they have my support. They have my support because I do believe they're competent people and they work well with the mayor is what's most important.
A majority of them have been there since, you know, when Congressman Barletta was mayor, you know, through Joe Yanuzzi's term, that have seen, you know, how the city operates, you know, Frankie Vito, Donald Leschko. There's some of them that have been there, you know, multiple terms, and they're seeing how the departments work, and they've improved their departments. You know, whether they're newcomers, you know, as in the new police chief, Jerry Speziale, you know, and people like that, you know, Jeff was saying, well, you know, they've worked here for 10, 12 years. You know, why do we have to put them back on? You know, and I guess the legal department right now is trying to hammer that out.
Hammer that out.
You know, and good luck for them.
Well, you're right. But like I said, I mean, you look, and I think the mayor has the look, and there's experienced people there. And if he thinks, you know, they're doing a good job, and they obviously are, then you're going to continue to keep them. As far as it goes with the police chief, I mean, he's highly competent, and I mean, I think he's a welcome to Hazelton. So. Once again, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what we have to do. I mean, we're going, well, consent, approval. I don't really know. I mean, that's for the legal people, to the lawyer, you know, our solicitor to find out. But my perspective is that I would have no problem voting for either one of them. Whether, and like I said, whether it would have been any mayor, I think they have the right to choose who they work with and who they trust and work with the most. So, I mean, you know, that's basically my position on that, and we'll see what comes out of it, right?
That's all we can do. And quickly, I want to ask you about the proposed housing projects in Hazelton. You know, we just saw recently that the Altamont building looks like they're going to put in some apartments for, you know, elderly residents down there, bringing something else to the downtown. You know, where we're seeing a lot of these housing projects going up. The Altamont, of course, the new Gennaro Gardens being built up on First and Church Street. You know, is that kind of the way of Hazelton's kind of combating the, you know, people moving out and selling their homes, but keeping the residents in Hazelton?
Well, I think as far as the Altamont, you know, I read about it, and you know, it passed zoning, and I think there were some things they had to forego to pass it. You know, as far as like the parking, if you read it, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a beautiful building. I mean, do we want it really to sit empty and turn into a St. Joe's? I mean, really, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing for our elderly people. I mean, I think we'll get restaurants downtown. We'll get lottery machines. Well, you know, I mean, it will build it up, and I mean, I think it would be an asset rather than have a building deteriorate. I think it's a good thing.
All right, I got 2 minutes to the end of the show.
Okay.
Your hopes and goals, at least through the rest of 2016 with council in the city?
Well, you know, that we all agree to disagree, and we come with a I mean, we share the most important thing in common, and that's the welfare and the safety of the people we represent. So my hopes are, like I said, we all take a deep breath, we all work together, which I think we could. We all work together, and like I said, I think I ran on it that crime is a major problem. I'd like to see it cut down. I mean, like I was telling you before, even with like our new police chief, there's an open there for rehabilitation. We're imperfect creatures, and people make mistakes, you know, to make them productive people in society. So I think, and I do think, and I said this on the thing, first of all, if we tackle the crime problem, because whether it's a perception, I personally think it's a reality, I think things will start falling into place. I think we'll see, we got to build our tax base. I think we will see more people moving in. I think we will see more businesses coming in. And, you know, it's the start, but I think it all hinges on people feeling safe.
Okay. All right, Bobby, well, we're out of time. I thank you for coming on, and of course, best of luck with your next, 3 years and 7 months on council. And of course, we welcome you back anytime to talk about issues going on in Hazelton.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us. And remember, this is where the community comes to talk here on Topic A each and every week here on WYLM. Thank you so much for joining us. And following this show next week, I'll be joined by Hazelton Mayor Jeff Cassant and Police Chief Jerry Speziale. We're going to talk about some programs going on in Hazelton and how they are looking to move Hazelton forward, just as Councilman Gavio talked about. That's next week. Stay with us here at Topic A. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later.